Today, I'm going to go over things I do not like about Virgin Voyages and possibly could turn you off to the cruising line if this is something you feel very strongly about. I want to start off with saying I love Virgin Voyages. It's by far my favorite cruising line, but I'll be honest, even though it's my favorite, it's obviously not perfect. I'll be lying to you if I said it was. Let's get into it. There are a few things that do need to be improved about Virgin Voyages. First big thing I do not like about Virgin Voyages is the events get jam-packed, sold out like immediately. The way Virgin Voyages does things is you have to pre-book events, but you can't pre-book them until you get on the ship, or at least into the port and get checked in. So you have to be there at the port physically and check it into your events while you're there. So if you have an early boarding time, that means you're one of the first people on the ship, which means you're one of the first people to get to book these events, these ticket events, the events who have extra charge with them. You get first pick. And those who have the later boarding times typically gets what's left over if there's anything left over. I know I got one of the earliest check-in times that were available. When I got on the ship, I was able to book any event that I wanted to. Part of those who had the later check-in times didn't even get a chance to check in to any of these events because they were sold out. Some things that fall under this category are the shows like Duo Reality and many others, and the fitness classes, as well as other events that are extra charge like the Grog Walk, which is basically a pub crawl, Millennium Larita, and a lot more. All these fill up super duper quick. So if you forget when you get on the ship to do those things, you may be missing out later on. You get to go to the event and go down to standby in case someone doesn't show up or they have more seating, but it is possible that you may not see the show if you don't check in early. And this is a big downside to Virgin Voyages. There were 2 events that we tried to go to. We didn't check in on those just because we didn't know if we wanted to go to them or not. We didn't want to take a spot for a show if we weren't sure we were going to go for sure. We stood in the standby line. One event we were able to get into. The other one, room never opened up for it. So it's going to be hit and miss if you don't get a slot to those events. And some of them don't have many openings. Like, for example, there's a whiskey tasting that we did and only had like 8-10 people were able to go on that class. The other whiskey tasting or alcoholic tastings, like tequila, some wines at later times. But still, even then, if they did have a second class, it was still only 10 people. So it wasn't very many people who get in these. So you had to be very quick. In my opinion, there's 2 solutions to this. One, either have more show times. Like one show time with Dual Reality is not enough. There are other events that had 1 time a day. It could have been better served to have 2 times a day. Like there's a lot of shows on Carnival, other cruise lines that have 2 showings of each show. Just because these shows are so popular, most people don't get to see them. Second solution is maybe having bigger classes, like the fitness classes. I didn't attend one, so I'm not sure how packed it was in there. So these are some changes like Virgin Voyages could make. It could, 1, help make a lot of money, and 2, increase customer satisfaction. To me, it wasn't a deal breaker, but it was kind of off-putting at certain times. This is me being nitpicky because I love Virgin Voyages. The second thing I did not like about Virgin Voyages is the Wi-Fi. Yes, you get free Wi-Fi included with your fare. However, that free Wi-Fi is basically like the basic package or lowest package on like Carnival. Because yes, it works. It's great for texting, emailing, and that's about it. Because I even tried to go on Facebook a few times, was not working very well. I'd be lucky to get Facebook up, see a post or 2, but good luck trying to play any video at all. It just won't load. Posting pictures can be very difficult as well. It's kind of hit and miss. Sometimes it works for a few minutes, and sometimes it just does not have the speed to do that kind of things. Virgin Voyages does have a premium Wi-Fi package to where you pay extra and you get super fast lightning Wi-Fi. You can video record, FaceTime, live stream, watch videos, whatever you want, which is very nice if you pay for it. But I feel like this is something that should be included with the fare, especially with the gimmick that Virgin Voyages has everything included, like Wi-Fi, food, gratuities, fitness classes. Make it to where you actually have enough room to make those fitness classes or have multiple offerings for those people. Make it to where this Wi-Fi is fast so you can actually make use of it. I know some people are going to say yes, if they do that, they may have to raise their prices. Well, I'm a business instructor. I know how business works. So yes, I realize this may raise the prices of other base fare just a tad bit. I know why Virgin Voyages says Wi-Fi is included because it's a marketing gimmick. They do technically offer it. However, it's very limited. And if you want the fast one, it costs more. Great money maker, great marketing. However, I feel like it underdelivers on the promise it implies. But that's just my opinion. How do you feel about these 2 points that I made so far? And honestly, those are the only 2 big things I could find that I didn't like about Virgin Voyages. I love Virgin Voyages, so yes, I'm a little biased. However, I know it's not for everybody. There are a few things that maybe don't bother me, but I feel like would bother some other people. Those are these three things right here. One is you can't bring kids under 18 on this cruise line, which, yes, that's a big selling point for Virgin Voyages, an adults only cruise line. But lately, I've been hearing a large amount of people saying, yes, I love Virgin Voyages. I wish I could take my kids with me who are under 18. So, yes, there are some people who want to bring little kids on an adult-only cruise line. To me, being an adult-only cruise line is a selling point because I have 2 young kids myself. And I take them on cruises all the time. They're actually going 2 cruises this year, but they're not going on my Virgin Voyages cruise. That's reserved for me and my wife. So if you're somebody who wants to sail with their kids who are under 18 years old, sorry, Virgin Voyages is not for you. The second one is if you want a very elevated, high-end, luxury, relaxed, and quiet experience. And I'm not sure how to quite explain this properly because, yes, Virgin Voyages is a more elevated experience. It still has a partly atmosphere. If you want to relax on Virgin Voyages, you could definitely do that. However, I have been on Princess Cruises. And even though I can relax on Princess Cruises and on Virgin Voyages, and I could party on Princess and Virgin Voyages, there's a big distinction between the two. If you're a person who loves Princess Cruises, feel very passionate about that, you're probably not going to like Virgin Voyages. Princess Cruises is a lot more virtual accessible. All their activities are low energy. Yes, it has a few high energy activities, but most of them are more lower energy, more relaxed based versus Virgin Voyages. They're more party based, and yes, you can relax. You can find some quiet areas, but I would say it's probably 50-50 on the ship. 30% of it's going to be party. The other half is going to be relax. And depending on time of day, it's going to be somewhere between one of those two extremes. Versus Princess was more like 80% relax and 20% party, but you kind of look for the actual party. And some of the higher energy activities, most of them are very relaxed. And Princess was the first cruise line I went on and came back more refreshed, rejuvenated, and didn't need a break from my vacation. As in when I got from Princess Cruises, I could go into work the next day fully energized. Versus Virgin Voyages and Carnival, I partied and had such a great time. I needed a day recovery after my cruise just because it was so heavy with activities. So I hope I explained that a little bit better on why someone who wants a super relaxed experience may not like Virgin Voyages. And the last thing I could see some people being turned off by when it comes to Virgin Voyages is the drag aspect. Personally, I believe each to their own. People are going to do what they want. I'm not a person who goes to those kind of shows, so to me, that was not a selling point for Virgin Voyages. However, that is a selling point to some people. If you're a person who are very much against drag, you could honestly go on Virgin Voyages and not see it at all. Maybe once or twice in passing. For example, when I went, I didn't go to the drag show. I avoided it. And honestly, I had a great time. I did see a person in drag here and there every so often. But it didn't bother me because, again, to each their own. And if you want to avoid that kind of thing, just don't go into any show that has the diva in it. And as simple as that. I had a great time. I know people who are against drag, and guess what? They loved Virgin Voyages. They had the best time ever. But there are a few people out there who don't want to even be on the same ship or anywhere near that kind of thing. And if that's you, then you probably don't want to go on this ship. But I'm telling you, if you want to see it, you will see it. You will have a great time. And if you don't want to see it, guess what? You still have a good time. Cruising and vacation in general, it's just about enjoying yourself, whatever that may be. Those are a few things that either I don't like about Virgin Voyages or I can see others not liking about that cruise line. Because just because Virgin Voyages is my favorite cruise line doesn't mean it's going to be your favorite. Everyone is different. So let me know, what did you like about Virgin Voyages or what did you hate about it? And if you've never been, would you try this cruise line? And I'll see you next time about a lot more news about Virgin Voyages and other cruise lines. Cruise on.